Hi everyone, it's Tiffany Sharp. Today I have this very special book that I helped to design, that I collaborated on. Emilee from Collage Soup did pretty much most of all the work, but I shared some ideas of how I thought a collage book could be really interesting, tactile, and interactive. So this is a concept that I have been thinking about in my head for a long time, and I was so happy when Emilee Stone from Collage Soup contacted me and asked me if I wanted to collaborate on a book with her. Of course, I wanted it to be a garden theme because I just love plants, botanicals. I love working in my garden. I love, all the nature, all of the nature that surrounds gardening as well. Even some of the pests, like the insects and that kind of stuff. So you'll see a variety of a lot of that. And what I really needed was a gardening journal. So I was like, please help me make a gardening journal. I haven't done that yet, even though I've been thinking about that for a number of years. So I wanted something that I could write down. So this is just this isn't an actual page in my book, but this is just kind of a rough draft for me to test some things. So I just wanted to make sure that I was able to write down, make it like very useful. And I just tested out some pens and some watercolor, and this book works really well for that. Like you can just write directly on the pages. There you go. That's what I'm trying to say, is that it's super easy if you want to turn it into like a journal and like directly write in the pages. I wanted to be able to take all the pages out and just fold them all in half and make a functional journal. I just love when things are functional. Means that I will actually use them. So this is the book, and here it is all put together. I just wanted to show you how nice it looks. It's a nice big book. I have taken mine apart already. I used a heat gun, and I just directed the heat right in the center and just pulled out the pages one page at a time. I have a short video on that. I think I can upload a video short, and I will maybe try and tag it here in the video or in the comment or in the, what's it called, the description part down below, so that you can see how easily they just glide. It is so satisfying, you guys. So I took out all of my pages, like every single page. I took them all out. And so this is the book that I'm working with. It is just the cover. It's just the cover. There's my two monarch butterflies. I asked Emilee to put some monarchs in there for me. Yeah, so when you open up the book, you'll see instructions that says, turn me. So turn the entire book around, and we will work in the book like this. Well, like this. There we go. So there's all these faces. I have a whole video with a flip through if you're interested in looking at the flip through. So lots of functional collage images, lots of background pages, and interactive elements that I will show you in a second. Okay, so what I did, I took the entire book apart, and then I separated it into 3 different categories. So interactive category, that means just pages, like these little papers could be cut or torn out and made into a tiny little booklet. Don't worry, I will be working with some of these. Words, I love words, and I asked Emilee to gather some garden themed words. I think this will be super fun. Maybe there could be a challenge or something like that, or I will make a whole, not like a functional garden journal where I put my thoughts and ideas and how my garden is actually doing, but just like a garden journal where I put garden art type of stuff and use some of the words. Or you know what, it can be in a functional journal too, never mind. Some garden stakes, you know, where you put in your garden and you have like you on the back. Well, you can't write it on that back, but I'll show you how to do it. I'll show you. Tags, seed envelopes. Oh, those will be cute. So I'll have another video where I use some of these things anyway, just to show you what those are like. And then there's a whole section of collage pages where they're great for cutting out images. Now, of course, you don't have to use it for that because they're on the back, there's like, you know, lined pages and functional papers or things that you can cut up in collage for the backgrounds of any of your collage art too. So, but I just wanted to separate these out just so I didn't cut into the back of these in case I wanted to, you know, use the front images. This is a little blueprint of a garden, which I love. And actually, I don't think that's a collage page. I'm gonna move these guys. Yeah, I'm moving those guys. I think maybe I just had a thought that I would use them for collage. So there's plenty of each type. And then there are what I consider to be book pages. And these are the ones that I feel like would be great for just folding in half and making an entire book, a large book, or a few smaller booklets, which is the idea that I'm going to go with today. And there's lots of different color schemes. I know, like for me, I love more of this kind of more muted, grungy color tones, but some people love the bright and, you know, depending on the season, probably. It's fall right now when I'm looking at it, so of course this appeals to me, but in the spring and summer, I'll be like, oh, yeah, I'm gonna make an entire journal or a booklet out of this one. I mean, that's gorgeous. So I could further divide these into, oh, that's pretty. See, these two go together so well. So all of these I feel like are really good. They would be good just folded in half. And now, so this one obviously could be used as, you know, cut out these veggies and make a collage with them. However, for me, what I want to do is turn it into a page in a book where I can use these as inspiration, and then I can do a watercolor painting on the opposite page, like put some watercolor paper in there. So that would be for more of an art journal type of journal. So that's why I put this in the book pages part and not in the collage part. But you do whatever you want to do, and you don't even have to divide them out or anything. There are so many gorgeous pages. I had to divide them out just to make it a little bit easier for me. Like when I have the entire book to work with, I get very overwhelmed, so I had to break it down. So now I'm noticing, like, when Amazon prints these books, sometimes it just comes out a little bit skewed. So it's easy just to take a paper trimmer and trim those pages, or you can rip them too, like having a nice torn edge. Here, let me show you. A torn edge is so nice that that's what I might do anyway. These rulers are handy with the cork on the back. Then you can just slide a little bit underneath and then just tear. And you can tear it out of your book this way too, but I just wanted to get the maximum amount of real estate space as I possibly could. Yeah. And you might have to go along the side too, just depending. Like some of the pages turned out like that, others didn't. It's no big deal. And again, these, for me, I'm going to make these very functional. I'm taking it out into my garden. And because usually I just take a single piece of graph paper and I'll take it out to my garden because I'll have drawn a plot of what my garden looks like. And then I'll have planned out, like right about now, in January is when I plan out where different items, the vegetables and stuff, are going to go in my garden. And I look to see what things are perennials that are going to come back so I don't dig those up. Otherwise, I would just dig and not stop. These are really fun pages too. I think these would be great to use. Like I said, like it would be a great inspiration page on one side, and then on the other side, have my garden plot there. So let me just go ahead and get started and just pick out a few. I just want to make a booklet. I'm telling myself this. I'm going to make a booklet. It's going to be small. It's going to be for this year's garden. I need to remember to add in maybe the grid pages, the graph and the lined pages. A lot of the lined pages are on the back of these images so that you don't feel like you're losing a ton of important images if you did cut any of these out. So I will go back in here and grab some of those too. Okay, I have selected a few. I needed to audition a bunch of pages and then narrow down a few and then narrow down again. But I've finally gotten the pages that I want for my book. Now you can make this book if you're making one for you and your garden or just to work in as an art journal. You can make it as many pages as you'd like. I just wanted it to be more of a notebook or kind of a working functional journal that I can take out to my garden. So I tried to keep it on the fairly thin side. I made mine, let's see, one, and I tried to do something with an image on one side and then lines or grid or something on the other side. And then I already went ahead and made sure that the pages coordinated so that the two pages that would be facing each other would look nice together, which they mostly do anyway. So I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pages. So I did 8 pages and then I folded it in half. Did I count that right? Well, anyway, something similar. And not all the pages are the same exact height because I had to trim some of them, but that doesn't bother me too much. And I just simply folded them all in half, creased it really well, and I'm going to bind this into a very simple cover with a pamphlet stitch, a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, which is a very simple way of binding a book. However, I do need to make a cover before I do that. So for the cover, I'm going to I have a lot of watercolor paper, so I'm going to use my watercolor paper and just fold that over and make a cover for this. Let me see. If I fold it over, sometimes it'll kind of crack here if I don't score anything. So I think what I want to do is score the paper. I'll use my paper trimmer. So this paper is, I know I'm gonna have to trim it down, aren't I? Maybe not. Okay, I'll fold it exactly in half. It's 12 inches, so 6. And then I just use a bone folder to go into this area where it would normally cut and do the creasing. I think this is the back and this is the front. I don't love the way this paper curves outwards, but that's just the way it came in that paper pad. So there we go. Just a tiny bit of reshaping, and then let me put this in first and then crease it really well. All right, let's see. Size-wise, it's quite a bit larger, so I don't want it to be that much bigger. I think I just want it to be flush, actually. Oop. Okay, I'll cut this down. Oops, I cut off that part that had the measurement. So let's measure again. And then there we go. It's pretty much flush. I might have gone like a scant bit over the edges. Yeah, okay. Now I wanna decorate this, of course, to make the cover look nice. So okay, I wanna do that. You know how when you cut, sometimes it just leaves like a raised lip. Just flattening that out. And then I have to decide if I want to try and protect the cover at all, because I'll be taking it outside. I don't usually get it. That's not true. I do get it wet. What I can do is put it inside of like a protective sleeve or a Ziploc bag or something like that when I do take it out. It'll get dirt on it. That's what's going to happen, but I'm going to be okay with it. Should I collage on here? Maybe I will spend some time making a collage. Oh, I should have done that before I cut it, because then I wouldn't have had to go through. Then you know, like I'm definitely going to have to trim after I'm done anyway. But that's okay. Let's just do some collage on here. Let me pull out everything again. Okay, I was flipping through these looking for good images to collage, and I found a bunch. But what I forgot to add in my notebook was a page with just some vegetables in there because I had saved these in the collage pile, but I do want to just have one page with just some veggies. So let me try and figure out where that would go. You know, there was one page here that was very like white. Oh, there it is. This white notebook paper with, yeah, that coordinates really well with that one. Then, perfect. Okay, so we'll put it right there. I kind of feel like if I fold it off center, it'll be better. Let me fold it here. Just because that's where the center of the paper is doesn't mean I have to fold it there. And then what's going to happen is this is going to stick out. So I'll just trim that with my ruler. All right, just like extremely accurately do this. This is kind of how I work. I don't like to be a complete perfectionist about anything. Oh, I'm gonna need to unfold it so I can tear this. I want this to go under. There we go. Under here. Try and get it somewhat straight. That's not the one I want to tear. That's the one. I hope. Okay. There. Now, am I gonna remember how it goes back? It's this and this. This was the outside. And then this. Okay, there we go. Now I have a page of veggies. Perfect. Oh, that looks good. So I've got my words. I want to put maybe one of the larger words. Or if they seem to be too small, I'll just stamp it out. And then I have some pots that I thought would be fun if I collaged some pots onto here. So what if I did pots and then I could have different flowers and things, vegetables coming out of them. Should I use the bigger pots? Maybe one big pot. Okay, so I'm gonna work on this and probably just put some music on and work on it quietly so I can think. Otherwise, I don't really know what I would need to talk through. I guess if I had any major important decisions, but I don't think I'm gonna be talking through much of it. Okay, so I'm noticing that this doesn't cover the entire thing, so I can use 2 pieces of paper, or I might just split the difference and leave that. Will that be okay? Maybe I should just paint it. I think that's what I'll do. I do know that this needs to get trimmed, but I'll probably trim it afterwards. Yeah, I think I'll just do this, and then I can put pots on there and collage on top. Or should I just cover it with this and call it good? Decisions. let's just start. Let's just start somewhere. And then I will make any changes if necessary. I do think I need to paint this maybe. I'll paint it with some acrylic paint. Okay, I got some Paper Artsy Fresco Finish paint. This one's aquamarine and heavy cream. This seems to need to be toned down a bit, so I'm gonna tone it down with heavy cream, but I think I need something darker also, because I see some like darker turquoise colors there. All right, so I have double denim. We'll see how they go. Yeah, because this is watercolor paper, it is really just soaking up that paint. So it would probably be helpful just to add a little bit of water to this. Should I color just go ahead and paint the entire inside? I'll just go like that, just in case I want to collage something on the inside too. Okay, I have so much Mod Podge, and I think this will do the job of gluing down my papers and sealing everything. That's what Mod Podge is for, right? Normally I use matte medium, but I'm running kind of low, and I have this huge thing of Mod Podge that I had kind of forgotten about. I think this is the time. I think it's the time to get this out and use it. I think I said this was going to be the front, but what if this was the front? Does it matter? It matters, because I might put something smaller here, right? All right, so do I put it on? I think I'll put it on this. Let's just do it. Sometimes you just gotta go for it, and then I'm really good with fixing mistakes. I'm okay with taking things apart. I've taken many books apart. This doesn't even have that many pages. It's not a big deal. I'm gonna make many of these just because of course, like every year, I'm gonna replan out my garden. But also, I don't want to just make one journal for planning out my actual garden. I want to make another journal for working in, for art journaling. I think it'd be fun to make one just vegetable themed. Oh, there's kind of dried up bits there. So this isn't the only time I'm gonna do this. And you know, if I just need to tell myself that, just to make myself move on to the next step and stop being so indecisive and stop thinking that I need to get this right the first time, then that's what I gotta do. It's always a good strategy. Just like, this is not gonna be the last time, the only time I do this. All right, we'll attempt to get this on kind of straight. I should wear my glasses, but my hands are too sticky for that now. And it's all sticky over there. This is why I don't like to use these types of glues, because I feel like you have to commit to getting everything sticky and glued on. But there's definitely a time and place for it. Oh, it's working beautifully. This feels awesome. Feels like it's getting stuck on there. So let's get it off of this under paper. Oh, I did not quite go to the edge here. Should I try to fix it? There's no way I'm going to slide that around now. So yeah, that's something I'm going to fix later. I should have gone with the other side. I should have, or gone ahead and painted that part too. But yeah, no, I should ink it or whatever. I'm gonna make the fold now while it's damp. I just get too impatient and then I don't really measure things out very well. But it'll work out. Like I said, sometimes just being indecisive is the worst thing. I can get so indecisive that I end up like putting stuff off for far too long, possibly not even ever getting to the thing that I said I was gonna get to. So this is like one way for me that works anyway, is just to do it and then decide, like, I have a plan to fix things. If it doesn't work out the way I want, there's always options. Or just embracing when things don't go completely right is fine too. Okay, let's get my papers out and just try it out. I know it's kind of gluey, but I'm too excited. I gotta try this out. Yeah, it's gonna be good. Okay, it did shrink just a little bit. I might have to just trim up a couple of these pages because I don't know what happened. It like shrunk once I put the glue on. Maybe it'll stretch back out when it dries. Does paper do that? Shrink when you glue? Or I feel like it should expand when you get it wet, but we'll see what happens. Okay, now while I'm waiting for the glue to dry, because I'm so impatient, I'm just gonna pick out, decide what I want to do for the inside. And you know, and maybe I'll clear this and just trim up my pages too, just because, oh, no. Okay, I just didn't shove it into the middle far enough. It's fine. It's fine. Yep. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Got a little ahead of myself. So this is the outside, and I would like the inside to coordinate just a bit. So I have all of these papers that will look nice. And then, oh, that would be fun. It's a little crazy. Plus, I have to remind myself that it's going to be this cute little bee right here. Oh, that would be kind of fun. But what I want to do is I want to make a pocket here too. So I don't want it to be too busy. Because, I mean, pockets, right? Gotta We got to put some pockets into this book. I can't make a book without pockets. That would be crazy. So this one has some yellow in it. That's pretty. Oh, that's pretty. That's nice too. I'm gonna go with this one. I really like the yellow. I know that's gonna be the back, but that's okay. All right, I'm gonna trim this and then I'll be right back after I trim. Okay, I just trimmed it up a little bit. So now we have a border all the way around. So now it worked really nicely when I put the glue on the bottom paper. And I did go all the way to the edge. I know the paper that I'm putting on top doesn't go to the edge, but this is kind of sealing that watercolor paper too, because like I said, I like to just take this outside, throw dirt on it, water. It does get water on there. I mean, my journals, my pieces of paper that I've taken out, my graph papers in the past, seed packets, that kind of thing, they all tend to be kind of damp and dirty when I bring them back in. So this will help. And the papers themselves for the pages are actually really nice and sturdy too. I'm excited to see how well they hold up when I take it outside. I don't imagine that, unless you're specifically making a garden journal to use the way I am, that it will need to hold up to like outdoor conditions the way mine is gonna need to. But these papers seem very sturdy. Okay, let me line this up a little bit better, I guess. The hard part is that the paper gets wrinkled after I put glue on there, so it's kind of hard to do, but that's where it's gonna be. I didn't do too bad. And then, like, when I finish everything, the whole collage, I'll go over it in Mod Podge again, maybe the outside, or at least, oh no, I feel like it's gone over the edge. I was gonna say at least like go maybe one more time around the edges, but we'll see. I kind of like when stuff gets a little bit grungy. So there's people that will dig a hole and bury their journals and then just leave it for a few days or months or whatever, and let just like Mother Nature do its thing on the journals, naturally, I don't know, decay some of the pages or just die. They're just gorgeous. I love it. I love the grungy effect. So that works for me. Oh, now I can decide which I want to use as the front and which I want to use as the back. However, I did like this side with the bee. Okay, I gotta let this dry in a place that doesn't have glue all over it and get some air pockets out. So I will be back. Probably need to wait till tomorrow when I have a little bit better light before I come back too. While I'm waiting for the cover to dry, I wanted to find some pages to turn into pockets. Now I do want to put in some other kind of pockets, like seed packet pockets, but we'll save that for later, maybe a different video, because I can see that this one's already getting pretty long. So I've chosen some pages that I thought if I fold them over a little bit will make great pockets. It all just depends on like where it would fit inside of this book. I do like this big guy. I think he would make a really cool collage, but you see how these guys are so tiny at the top? It would be perfect if I folded this over. And now I've got a row of bugs and then a little space here where I can write down. I imagine using this page as a place for me to put in a seed packet. So if I put in a couple of these areas in my book, you know, like here and there, maybe like this. It would be like a page here. Then I should grab some of my older seed packets. Then it could, so then I can see how big they would get. It would be about this big. About right here. So I don't have to put this all the way at the bottom. I can put this, I'd like for it to be a little bit towards the center. So that, oh my gosh, that fits perfectly. So if you want to put a pocket in your journal, this is a great page for that. And I love how it coordinates with this page. That's fun. Okay. So I want to do that. Do I want to get my sewing machine out and sew, or do I want to glue? I do like to sew. I'm gonna just have to sew, but you guys, you can always glue things if you want to. You don't have to sew things in your sewing machine if you don't like doing that. I tend to really enjoy that. But not everyone loves sewing paper in their sewing machines, and I get it. That's okay. I thought this was a good one too, with like the layout of a pretty garden. I could do a pocket like that. Is it right? Yeah, this is the wrong side. Okay. So some of these, oh, this one looks great too. Oh yeah, I like this. Some of these aren't gonna make the best pockets because when you flip it over, things are gonna be upside down. Like this part will be upside down. But it's not a huge deal, like for these envelopes to be upside down. I did see one page where there were butterflies that ended up being upside down, and I actually didn't mind that. So if these stems are upside down, I don't know. It's odd, but doing it this way would look fine. I just like to have kind of a white space to write. So I didn't like that one though. I might have to just use this as and cut it out as collage, because those are some of my favorite colors. And the fence pose, the fencing. I know you guys probably are like, what is going on with these fences? But I thought they would be fun to use in a collage. So not knowing which would be good, you know, I'm gonna go for it. I have 3 of these books, so I'll be okay. I suggest you get a couple of copies if you are one of those people that can't part with the opposite side if you cut and have to glue things down. But the beauty of using it in a book is that you don't have to choose whether you want to keep the front or keep the back. Like, you can keep them both. So that's like one of the main reasons why I wanted to use these pages as book. Kind of want to do this one. This and this. Kind of like this. Okay, I think 2 will be enough, plus maybe just some glued in seed packets. All right, let's remember, one pocket goes there and one pocket goes here. And then all I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna give it a little bit of a crease before taking it to my sewing machine. And I'm just gonna sew right here and right here, and that's it. And then bring it back. Okay, I sewed with a little tiny zigzag. Just once down. You can see that something happened to my machine right here, and I kind of like it when it does that. Like, leaves a little, you know, I mean, obviously if I were sewing a nice garment, you wouldn't want that to happen. But you know, it leaves little bits and pieces of, like, what do I want to call that? Interest. It adds interest without me even trying. Of course, that's the back, and I was going through this really quickly and not really doing it the right way, anyway. I wasn't trying very hard to do things the right way. So that kind of happened, but I kind of like it. Okay, so now what do I have? I have like 12 pages in here with the pockets. So it's perfect. And then I just need the cover to dry. Oh, I love that. And I can bind this in. So as far as binding, I have a easy way of binding these where you don't really need to have a ton of tools or anything, but you will need an awl. And if you want to bind books at all, then get yourself a good one. And I do have like a whole entire book binding kit, but it's not like super necessary. All you need is some sort of fairly heavy duty needle, which I know I have a bunch, but you only need one. And then binding thread. And I think if you just order like a book binding kit, you get some of these things, you might get an awl and some threads and a needle, and that's perfect. That's all you need. However, some large paper clips or clips of any kind will be nice too. However, I have found that it's really fun to get some nice colorful threads. So I get these at a bookbinding shop, but this is called Londonderry Linen. And you can just buy these individually if you would just look it up online. I can put a link to the store too, and you're buying from a small business. But these are so much fun. Along with this, you will want to get I'm choosing the colors that I think will work best. You will want to get some wax. And as far as the wax, it's like any kind of beeswax or candle wax will work. This is my chunk of beeswax that I got from the store, that I got this thread, and it has lasted me a long time. It is very well worn. I probably need to melt it down a little bit so that I can like remold it, but it came in like in this cute little mold. Okay, this is nearly dry, but I'm noticing that some of this paper is coming off a little bit, so I gotta fix this. I'm going to just get my cutting mat out. Let's get an X-Acto knife and my metal ruler, and I'll just go along the edge here and cut off the extra. All right, I didn't get right on the edge there. So what I like to do after I cut right on the edge of something like this, I like to just take a emery board and just file away all along here, but definitely those places that are kind of uneven. Okay, now right here I have this art glitter glue that can get into those tiny little areas. If it's working. Is the glue coming out? Yeah. And mainly it's because I already washed my glue brush and I don't want to have to use a new one and wash another one out. The fewer tools I have to use, the happier I am about things. Just make sure I get this nice and glued on so it doesn't lift up while I'm working. There we go. And then, so it's got kind of warped here. And, oh, is this coming out too? Okay, just a little bit. Oops. This dries clear, so it's nice. It'll create a nice seal over the top. Dry clear. There's a huge bubble right here. Try to go down there as far as I can without ripping. All right, now let's fold it back over, and then just gonna try and reshape this. Get it to bend the other direction a little bit. Along the edge of my table, if you can see what I'm doing. I'm just going along the edge of my table, if this were the edge, and I'm just doing this and kind of bending it. Yeah, I'll have to use a little paintbrush and go along the edges, I think. But now this is a great area for me to collage on top of some more if I want to, or maybe I just want to put like garden journal it's 2025 garden journal. That's beautiful as it is. I kind of, you know, I did pick out all of this to collage on top of, but I'm kind of thinking maybe, all right, maybe I'll do one. Maybe I'll do one another time, like after I complete the book. I feel like this video is getting so long. This video should just be about the book, making the book. So let me go. Before I get antsy and go ahead and bind the book in and forget, I'm gonna go ahead and grab a brush and just really go along the edges here and make sure that that's all completely sealed, because that's gonna make a huge difference. Like the edges of the book is definitely where things are gonna need to be glued in really well. So I'm going to do that. I wonder if I can like paint a border on there afterwards, because this part needs something, I think, or maybe not. Maybe I'm focusing on it too much. I think I am just focusing on it too much. You know what? I'm just gonna put a little bit of glue where it needs the glue and then call it good, because it doesn't all need to be re-glued along the edge. It was just a couple places that are coming apart. It has a couple of gaps and it's really easy to fix, so I'll just do that. I think that's it, actually. You saw when I was using the sandpaper how hard it was for me to sand that off. That means it's been sealed pretty well right here. Okay, now I want to bind in my book block, and I just want to make sure that all the pages are in here in the right places. The pockets aren't too high or too low. They seem to be okay right there. Maybe up a little bit higher on that one. Possibly. Maybe I'll make this one low. Okay. So I just have to make sure I get this as far back as possible. And sometimes I like to put something in there like a ruler and just really squish it in. And then use my paper clip to hold it in place. But hold on, I feel like this page needs to be centered a bit more. Okay. Okay, that looks good. And then you could measure out and make this all nice and even. Maybe I will, maybe I'll try. Let's see, it's 8.5. So we're looking at about 4 1/4 is where I will put my first hole. And I'm just going to stick my awl in kind of at an angle, 4 1/4. Right here in the middle of this butterfly. Okay, kind of at an angle and push it all the way through to the other side. And then I want to go about 1 inch from the bottom. Do the same, put a hole in there. And 1 inch from the top. Put a hole in there. There. Okay. Now, if you have a bookbinding thread that's not waxed, you're going to want to wax it, but let's first measure out how much we want. So measure out 3 times the height of your book. So 1, 2, 3. And then if your bookbinding thread's not waxed, then put it through the wax. I just like to go a couple of times. But you can buy it already waxed. This just makes it stronger and it helps your knots stay in place. It's very nice. And if you have a hard time threading your needle or anything, just having a piece of wax and putting it through the wax like this and then squishing it with a bone folder makes it really easy to thread your needles. So here's my bookbinding needle. Oh, gotta squish it some more. Really squish. Maybe I need a bigger needle. I like to use as small of a needle as I possibly can, because then I don't have to make these holes too big. Okay, then you can choose if you like to go from the outside or if you like to start from the inside. However you start is where threads are and the knot is gonna end up. So you can decide, but I don't know, sometimes I just do it, I just mix it up because it's fun. I think I'm gonna start out from the outside. So go into this hole in the middle, then leave a little bit, like maybe enough just to hang on to. And then you can go up to the top hole and go through. Pull all the way through, make sure that you get any tangles. And just pull firmly, but don't rip. If you pull too hard, you'll rip the paper here. And then go all the way to the bottom, skip the middle one and go to the bottom. And just be patient, don't force the needle through. Sometimes you have to go at it at a different angle. There. Make sure you go through all the pages. Pull, and then just do a firm tug, and then go back into the middle. Make sure you don't go through this previous thread that's already there. Don't split that thread. Okay, and then just give it a firm tug, not too tight. This should get a little bit tighter than this. So I might need to go back into the middle here and just pull to the middle and then pull the middle threads out. Okay. And then make a square knot here. That's it. And then you can cut off however much of this as you want. Sometimes I just like to leave it hanging just a little bit. Sometimes I like to make it extremely long and wrap it around, but that's a lot. It can get tangled. I like to keep this on my one needle that I prefer. I have lots of needles, but there's only one of this kind, and I like it because it's kind of dull here. So I don't have as much of a chance of poking through the papers and creating a new hole if I just can't find where that hole is. Then you can kind of burnish the holes a little bit. I kind of tore through some of this a little bit, but it'll be okay. There. And here's the book. Oh, that looks amazing. I'm so happy with it. There's a little pocket. Another pocket. And I like shorter pages too. Those are fun to write on or collage on or whatever. Love that. Another pocket. Love how these pages just coordinate. Another one. That's it. All right, well, I do think that I will have to work on this cover. I'll make a little collage or something, put something there. Definitely needs like a title, of course, if nothing else. So I'll do that for sure. So thank you so much for watching this video with me. And thank you so much, Emilee from Collage Soup, for collaborating or for letting me collaborate on this book with you. It was amazing to work with Emilee. Emilee is a small business owner, and I love to support small business owners who are women. She just does all of this on her own. She is amazing to work with, and she works with a number of different artists. And it's been so much fun. Check out her Collage Soup books. She's got like a bazillion Collage Soup books. And you can go to her website, collagesoup.com, and she has ebooks that you can download. There's books that you can buy online. She's got tons of freebies. She does swaps, so she puts together swap groups. It's just like she does a ton of stuff. And look at these amazing images that Emilee is able to find and curate. And I'm going to have so much fun working in this book. All right, thanks for joining me again, everybody. Please let me know if you made a book like this, how yours turned out. I'm Tiffany Simply Sharp on Instagram, and I would love to see your photos too. So you can always tag me on those posts and photos and whatever you post on Instagram if you made a book or if you were inspired by any of this. And please leave a comment below or any questions that you have. Thanks. Bye.